So, Bonnie, how's everything going? How are you feeling in Florida?
Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. I hear I'm missing all this snow up north and can't beat it down here even when it's cold. Uh, so today we have welcome to the
Kulanu Matters podcast with Molly and Bonnie. Welcome. We're
and
excited to start a brand new podcast number 5.
wow, who knew? Who would have thunk it? Today we have like a very special type of topic. It's about the distribution of Torahs that Kulanu does around the globe. Now, everybody knows the sanctity of the Torah. I remember as a little girl running to kiss the Torah in shul. My parents made such a big deal, run, kiss the Torah. And so these communities are emerging communities and returning communities around the globe. They're all looking for to own their own Torah. Some have good conditions to store the Torah, and some don't have such good conditions. And we developed a process of how to give out the Torahs. Um, I know that I once wrote an article called "Where Have All the Torahs Gone?" It was in response to a piece that Rabbi Marvin Tokea, who was one of the most fantastic rabbis in this field that did a lot of research on Asian Jewish community and the ancient Jewish community, wrote. He said he lost track of the Torahs that were given to Kaifang. And I said, oh, well, Kulanu can't lose track of the Torahs they gave out. So in response to that, I wrote an article for the Kulanu magazine called "Where Have All the Torahs Gone?" And so this podcast is trying to document a little bit about what it's like to get a Torah, distribute a Torah. Molly?
Right. Because I feel like really, like you said, the Torah is something that, is tangible, the communities receive, and they really feel like, they're able to read the Torah scroll, do the services, the prayers, and really be a part of the worldwide Jewish community. So having that Torah come into the community really is, life changing for these communities. So it's
Yes,
it's
yes.
really
So
impressive. Can you
tell
tell us
us
about
about how
the
we get
Chinese
Torahs.
Kaifeng Torah? What happened to the Torah? Where was it? Was it
Well,
found?
actually, the Kaifang Torah, one one Torah scroll was reported to have been used to make trousers for some Chinese ladies. There are rumors that another Chinese Torah scroll from Kaifang may be hidden in a mosque in Kaifang. And knowing that Southern Methodist University's questions about the Torah in their library finally were answered allows us to hope the remaining questions about all of the Chinese Torah scrolls were from the synagogue in Kaifang will have some answers today too. And I think there is actually a Torah in the Jewish Theological Seminary from Kaifang. So how does Kulanu get our Torahs and to distribute?
Sure. So Kulanu receives Torahs in various different conditions. We accept Torahs in any condition really, because like you said, these communities are really desperate to have this, Jewish knowledge and to have, their own Torah in their community. And oftentimes they don't have, an appropriate, space where they can house it, for security reasons or even for just environmental conditions. So Kulani will assist in making sure that, we can make it as best and safe and secure as possible. And the donations themselves come from congregations often in the United States, where there's a merging or closing congregation. So they have extra tours at that point, and that they're no longer going to be using for their services. So they'll donate them to Kulanu. And then even, why don't you tell us the story about those waterlogged tours? We got 5 of those, right?
Yeah, it was a huge honor. Kehilat Jeshurun in Manhattan, it's one of the largest, wealthiest Orthodox communities in the world. Unfortunately, had a fire many years ago. It must be a while ago, maybe 8 years ago. I don't think it's 10 years ago. And the fire destroyed a bunch of Torahs. The Torahs got waterlogged, and they were hidden in their geniza. A geniza is a place in a synagogue where Torah scrolls that are no longer useful or functional or whatever, or damaged, get hidden and stay there till they can get buried. But what happened was Rabbi Eli Weinstock, who's the current president of the New York Board of Rabbis, at the time was an associate rabbi there, and he donated 5 of those Torahs to us that were damaged in the fire. We never fool a community. We say this is a damaged Torah. And in some cases, we have rabbis that allow them to read from a Torah that has a portion that was destroyed or ruined, where the most of the Torah is okay. It's a very complicated question. Anyway, I picked them up. I seatbelted them in the back of my car, and I'm a nervous wreck driving with 5 Torahs in my car. And we stored them and to give them, to distribute them. We don't hide the fact that these are damaged Torahs, but some communities, they love them. They could dance with them on Simchas Torah. They can kiss them. They could let the letters of the Torah float into their neshamas, into their holy personal beings, and get inspiration from the fact that they actually have a Torah in their possession. So that's the 5 Torahs that Kilat Jeshurun gave us. Sometimes we tried to correct the Torahs, and we went to different sofrim, these are scribes. And the same Torah could be priced $3,000 by one scribe and $13,000 by another scribe. And so I saw for the first time, like the differential in how scribes price their fixing of the Torahs. Okay, Molly, you want to tell us something about distributing the Torahs? I know your husband was
Yes.
involved with one. Mo.
Yes, my husband Mo was honored to really be one of the people to distribute the tours, and hand carry it all the way to the Philippines. So he was actually traveling for work, and we had a community with Rabbi Colas Brown in the Philippines that really needed a Torah and was ready to accept the Torah and read it and have it a part of their services. So we're very excited to be able to make this shidduch, this connection between my husband and the community there. And so my husband lovingly wrapped the Torah all up, and actually it ended up being like those reusable shopping bags. So he wrapped it around, the Torah and everything to keep it safe. He hand carried it all the way on the airplane and brought it into the seats. And sitting next to him, there was actually an Israeli man. He was like, "Is that a Torah?" And he was like, "Yes, it is." And so then they were very careful. They worked with the flight attendant to get it all the way up in the overhead bin together. And the Israeli was very honored also as well to be a part of this. And then when they got off the plane and met Rabbi Koles, they were very excited to all be together and really be a part of this transfer of the Torah from the United States all the way across the world to the Philippines to help this isolated community. So that was really touching. And he still talks about it too often. We end up at shul and he's busy telling people about, when he carried this Torah all the way across the world. So it's really meaningful for the volunteers and the travelers that get to bring the Torahs and, hand deliver them and, see the love and warmth on the community's face when they receive this great gift.
Yeah, I once
But I know you've also done many, right?
Yeah, I did. I've only carried 2, but I've been involved with the distribution of maybe 10 or 12 at this point. Once I carried one to Nicaragua, and on the transfer plane from between Miami to Nicaragua, I bought one of these baskets and stuck holes in the material on the bottom and stuck the legs of the Torah into the holes, and we were wheeling it like an old lady with a wagon, food wagon, and we got permission to bring it into the cabin of the plane. And there was apparently a Jewish stewardess that saw this. And I said, there's a Torah in this. And she was utterly thrilled that Nicaragua was getting a Sefer Torah. And to piggyback on something you say, we have lots of videos of Hachnasat Sefer Torah, of the parties that communities throw when they do get a Sefer Torah, the dancing, the singing, the ceremony that they create. We'll show some video next.
We are so excited to be able to donate this Torah to the Comunidad Sefardita Ortodoxa de Honduras, which is in San Pedro Sula in Honduras.
I believe there may be some other videos, maybe even in Cameroon, where there was just the joy of receiving the Torah that we give. And so I want to remind everyone, I know Molly already said this, that we do accept Sifrei Torah from communities that donate to us. And if you know of anyone, please send them our way.
Yes, oftentimes, a tour itself, a brand new tour is very, very expensive, but, a tour that has been well loved by a community, it's, just as special and will be cherished overseas. So I think that's important to note.
Yeah, and the American communities that donate are so thrilled to know that their Torahs will be used again and so to speak, recycled, given a second life. So that's, oh yeah, I'm just thinking, you know what I forgot? We have a video of the Torah that we gave in New York to the Dominican Republic. This is a very interesting story. His name is Rabbi Yehonatan D'Amato, Elazar D'Amato. He had a congregation in the Dominican Republic of Bnei Anusim, of crypto-Jewish people who claim Jewish roots. And he was very exacting for them to really document that was their origin. Anyway, he was in New York. We had a Torah, and we actually did it at our past president, Harriet Bograd's house. We had a whole little ceremony, and he knew that it needed correction. So he learned scribal arts to correct the Torah the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
How cool is that?
That is very impressive. That is not an easy skill to take on. That was really, a labor of love there to learn that and be able to correct it. That's truly impressive.
It was impressive. That's sort of our most impressive story of people trying to correct their Torahs. My husband and I were the people who brought the Sefer Torah to Cote d'Ivoire. And we also had, the carrying angst on how do we get it there, the transport angst. Some people take these Torahs and they put it in overhead. Some people carry it on. One person I know, I think bought a seat and strapped it in. So that's a whole adventure on how to carry a Sefer Torah on an airplane. And actually the coverings, like the velvet coverings, like we know, Sephardic coverings are different, but the covering that we know, some synagogue in Staten Island, I'm from Staten Island, many years ago closed up, and they gave their Torah covers to us. So when a Torah comes to New York, where we store it in Temple Emmanuel, my husband's congregation on Staten Island, we dress it with one of those Torah covers. So the Torah cover becomes also recycled. I mean, I
Right,
guess
right. It's so nice to see all these things live on and you have a new life with a new community and really continue to be treasured and honored. It's great.
and in honor of today's recycling and watch your carbon footprint mentality, recycling Torah covers is part of it. Yeah.
Right. Everything helps.
Maybe we should talk a little bit about correcting Torahs. I mean, I was told don't call them puzzle Torahs. Don't call them puzzle Torahs. Tell them Torahs that need correction. I mean, historically, Jews all over the world, throughout time, throughout place, all had Torahs that needed some form of correction. And it was their choice as a community what to do with them, right? Some danced with them on Simchas Torah. Some buried them, I guess. Some read from them in any case. And there is a debate and there is current rabbinic teaching about Torahs that need correction, but one of the rabbis that are connected to us really says it's much better than reading from a book for educational purposes and for the sanctity of the community to feel that they are part of worldwide Jewry.
Right. I feel like there's nothing, that can replace a Torah. That's the real, symbol of Judaism and the connection. So,
Okay, Molly, go give us the list of places that we can remember that got a Sefer Torah from us.
yes, it's a long list, and there might be a few more here, but Kulanu has given tours to Brazil, Dominican Republic, Madagascar, Cameroon, Nigeria, Nicaragua, Cote d'Ivoire, Philippines, Ethiopia, and Zimbabwe. So, yes, very impressive.
Many more to come. And I'd like to tell everybody, subscribe to our podcast. If you want to continue to hear us, we want to see us grow, grow, grow. So come to our webpage. Molly, what is it and what's the information?
Sure, you can sign up for our newsletter and learn more about Kulanu at kulanu.org. So it's just KULANU.org. And that's our website. At the bottom there, you can sign up for our newsletter. So you'll hear from us every month about what's been happening at Kulanu as well. And like Boni said, subscribe to our podcast and tell your friends about it. We would really, love to have more people find out about Kulanu.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, and what's the
Pandora and YouTube.
Right. And YouTube, right. The YouTube versions are really great because we have great photos that come, that document the stuff that we talk about. So it's a much fuller experience. Okay, everybody. We have more podcasts coming down the pike.
Yes, so we're going to do another podcast in 2 weeks. Our podcasts come out every 2 weeks, and our next one is going to be on origin stories. So that'll be really interesting to hear about the different communities and how they began. And
we're going to have a guest. We're going to have our first guest, right?
Yes, I'm super excited. We'll have our first special guest, Rabbi Gerald Sussman. He will be here.
Yes. Okay, everyone. Thank you. Till next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Kulanu.org. So it's KULANU.org/donate.